Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Nakinyuguzi Chronicles. I am Nana Kagga, and today I haven't been able to get home so that I could bring you an organic Nakinyuguzi Chronicles episode. But like I told you, Nina Bienguba, Biachengera, Esawa not Batusa Kamaulida Malunji. Anyway, it's Friday. So I thought about what do I talk about today? And throughout the week I've been debating. Recently I came across a story of a young woman that was chopped to death by her husband. Bannange bekikwata ku kitalo nnyo. Naye kaakati okufa kw'omwana ono kwangina kuyita mwana kwa mwana w'abantu. Omwana ono gwe batta aliko nnyoko, aliko kitaawe, aliko family. But we are being raised to believe that marriage is an achievement. That once you're married, that you must do whatever it takes to stay there. That you must put up with disrespect, physical abuse, emotional abuse, all sorts of abuse, so that you're not shamed for leaving a situation that could possibly be very high risk to the point where you lose your life. Katika kutangoza leo n'abaana. The general consensus in African traditional society is that bw'ofumbirwa olina okugumira embeera yonna. But we're seeing so many young women lose their lives to physical violence from spouses. And I don't know, I cannot speak for anyone else, but when I was growing up, maybe these things were happening, but they were not happening in front of children. I don't know if it's our high-stress lives that are actually bringing about an environment where tetukyabikanako. Kubanga ono omwana baamusse mu maaso g'abaana be. Taata w'abaana yamutemya akabazzi in front of the children. Imagine the trauma that the children cannot recover from. And like I keep saying, mental health in Uganda is not a priority. But I see these damaged young kids growing up knowing full well my father killed my mother. And the story is that she tried very hard to get help from the police. She reported these numerous incidences to different bodies that were supposed to protect her. And nobody did anything. This story has come to light, maybe because it's in an urban setting in Uganda. There's so many stories of this young girl. I call her a girl because she was in her 30s. And it's not the first time, apparently, that, he had taken to using physical violence against her. But this one proved fatal. Banange bamama batata. Physical abuse against your spouse in front of your children creates a human being that will be violent, if not sociopathic. Creates a human being that has been through trauma that sometimes you can't fix. We have the old adage, naddala Uganda, bagamba omusajja watakubako abatakwagala. I beg to differ. Bannange temukuba baana b'abantu era abakyala temukkirizibwa kukubibwa. Gye wava ewammwe baakukuza ne bakuza nga tolinaako lubale ne bakuwa omuntu omulala akulabirire. And they beat you like a possession. But somehow we have convinced ourselves that in violence and physical abuse we find a justification of love. I'm not advocating for people to walk away from marriages if they're not working. I'm advocating for people to walk away from toxic relationships if they're not working. There's a constant fear of how will I do this? How will I do that? How will I take care of my financial issues? I get it, some people aren't as emotionally strong as I would like to think. Some people are scared of embarrassing their families. But good Lord, let not it get to that. Omusajja bw'aba akuba, ng'akuba ku makya, nakubira obutafumba, nakubira okussa, nakubira okwogera. That's not love. And at some point, it will cross the boundary. I get that we are a society that tries very hard to keep families together. I do. But at some point, something has to give. At some point, you have to understand that your life, your children's mental and physical well-being, whether you be a man or whether you be a woman, is above you tolerating a toxic environment simply because you don't want to embarrass your family, you don't want to shake the norms, you don't want people to look at you differently. We are a very moralistic society. Naye okuba omwana w'omuntu n'omutta, n'omuteeka mu ttaka ne baleeta maiti mu luggya, that is unforgivable. And this story saddens me. It saddens me as a woman. It saddens me as a filmmaker. It saddens me as a parent. Because now I must impress upon my daughter how important it is that I will never reject her if she walks away from a marriage, from a relationship where her life is at stake or her children's lives. Bannange mulekerawo okugamba abaana bagumire embeera. Mulekerawo okugamba abakyala bagumire embeera. We can't judge what we don't know, so I can't give advice to someone else. But I do know that if someone came to me for help, I would do whatever it took to help them. Unfortunately, sometimes that works and sometimes it doesn't. But what state of government do we have when young women are being butchered by their spouses because the police failed to help, because the family failed to help? She was a nurse. One can't say she was ignorant or uneducated. I can't say that I'm privy to the circumstances of her life, but one wonders why she put up with that. And you know, abuse, physical abuse, when it gets to that point, is not only physical, it's mental, it's emotional. Bamama ne batata, kabe mwana, muwala oba mulezi. Tuyigirize abaana baffe that they are so much more than who they marry and which family they marry into. That they are so much more than achieving a marital status. That they will be loved whether they walk away or stay. That we will protect them from the evils of this world. And that includes the people that they seem to love. If they come to us for help, let us give it. Because I would hate to think that I could turn away my daughter out of embarrassment or out of some ill-driven, motive to preserve my dignity or my standing in society. That is a sad tale. But I am told, and I have read, that that is a tale that many women in Uganda are experiencing. Bannange tweddeko. Tokuba mwana wa muntu si gwe wamuleeta ku nsi. Era tulina buyinza bumuggyako bulamu. However, there's the other side of the coin, which is mental health. We tend to overlook mental health here. Because now one wonders, was he really there? Apparently he was a teacher. If he can butcher his wife, one wonders what sort of teacher he is. What chance do our children have? Do we do mental evaluations and teachers, doctors, and everyone else we hand to our children? I don't always mean to do depressing Nakinyuguzi Chronicles videos, but life as it sits right now gives us tales of sadness. I'm going to come back, and I promise you, with an uplifting story. I'm going to look for it. But anyways, I'm Nana Kagga. This has been the Nakinyuguzi Chronicles.